Yo, what is going on, guys? It is King Gamer here, and I'm back with a new YouTube video. I hope you guys enjoy. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down the latest Mortal Kombat 1 trailer, the official Banished trailer that premiered over EVO weekend. I was actually at EVO's tournament, so I had to do kind of my own reaction off stream. I was able to watch it, but I wasn't home in order to make my reaction video. But in this video, I'm actually going to be doing a breakdown. We're going to be taking a look at some things such as the characters that are in this trailer and kind of a little bit what do we, I guess, expect from these characters. Kind of going a little bit in depth of it. Be sure to leave in the comment section down below if any of these characters excite you. Who are you really looking forward to playing when Mortal Kombat 1 drops, which is on September 19th. And we're also going to be in the future doing a little breakdown, kind of going over in the future what is to be talked about coming for this channel, what are going to be some videos that you guys are going to see from me, and hopefully we can also discuss what more you guys would like to see, because I would love to be able to produce and give you guys the content that you would love to see for this channel. But without further ado, let's get into the YouTube video. I love this. So I'm going to already assume that this is a stage. I'm pretty sure either this is an upcoming stage or whatnot, or this is just part of the story mode, right? But this kind of gives me back to the Injustice 1, what is it? One of those maps, it's kind of like the Arkham Asylum type of stage. It's really more gore, I would say, but it kind of gives me a little bit of those vibes, and I kind of like the... I would say the similarity that they're kind of, still painting, because, from a discussion point, a lot of people still like to argue that, oh, this Mortal Kombat 1 was actually supposed to be an Injustice title, but then they switched last second to be a Mortal Kombat title. And I can see that, I can kind of, definitely see the similarities. I definitely get the understanding of why people might feel that way, whether it be the character design, kind of like the overall movement or the overall game aspect. I can kind of see how it really is similar, but I can also see the switch up and the more of the direction that they're trying to paint towards this actually being a Mortal Kombat game. So it's definitely really interesting to kind of, compare and contrast the two.
Earthrealmers aren't ready to see the real me.
So how does it work? You just shape-shift into anything you want?
I can shift only between this and my natural form.
Whoa.
That I could take human.
So I love the fact that you're using the human form Reptile, but they also included the lizard form, right? Because there's always been a toss-up with Reptile of which design do you prefer. And let me know in the comment section, what do you guys prefer as far as Reptile? Do you prefer the whole lizard form aspect? Do you prefer human Reptile? The ninja aspect? What are you guys' thoughts as far as, do you like Reptile to be like a human? Do you like him to be a lizard? Obviously, in this game, they're making it into the two best of both worlds, the Hannah Montana that people like to say, that they give the fans, both the human form and the lizard form. And really quick in the background, I believe that's, I want to say that is... I could be wrong, just because it looks like that's Johnny Cage, but I see kind of like a sword, and I think that's Kenshi, but I'm pretty sure that's Johnny Cage. Really interesting as far as the costume. You can definitely tell, because there's also been suspense or some speculation that, is there going to be costumes in this game? Is there going to be gear? Are we going to have the gear form come back? Really interesting. Obviously, we don't know too much of the details coming from NetherRealm as far as, is there going to be gear in this game? Is there going to be costumes? What is that whole, I guess, mode, another game mode that they're going to be adding in? And that's some, news that hopefully we get to hear about in the future, because, once again, we are already in early August, and the game comes out on September 19th. Actually, September 14th, if you actually get the premium or the collector's edition, so you're actually able to get the game early. But I'm really curious to see what's the direction they're going here, because, obviously, I would love to see different costumes or skins for all these characters, but the gear aspect that they did for, Injustice 2 and Mortal Kombat 11, I definitely really enjoyed that also, so I'm really curious to see what's the direction they're taking for that.
Form made me a freak among my people. I was terrorized. Run out.
So I wanted to just stop this right here because obviously this looks like a little celebration, and once again you get to see the different costumes and skins from Katana and Melina. So it kind of makes me want to believe that costumes or skins are going to be the returning factor for this game. However, it could be wrong. It could be like, once again, just gear. You know, you have like headpieces, you have like the design or you know, the costume that they're wearing, and then you get to add on like additional things that you get to see to make the game like cooler from your design perspective. So obviously you kind of see a little bit of a celebration or you know, kind of like a little bit of a ceremony, something going on here. This could possibly be, which we're going to see here in a second, a new stage that is going to be filled in. So I wanted to, let's see if I can actually get this, press pause at the right moment. Oops. So you can kind of see that there's characters that are being, like, I obviously missed it once again because of the fiery explosion. It was kind of fast. But you can kind of see that there is, like, Kung Lao. There's someone being carried right here. There's, you know, kind of like a selection of characters. Looks like they're being carried out. The main question that people have been wondering is who's the person that's actually getting carried, and we've actually from Twitter seen like very like close-up images, and we're also going to see another close-up image that a lot of people's speculation is they think that this is Quan Chi. So it definitely makes sense about how Quan Chi is going to be in the story mode, but for what we all know, Quan Chi is actually going to be DLC. So meaning he has a role in this story, and it kind of makes me think too, because you know, you see like Kung Lao, you see like other characters that are actually carrying him out. Makes me wonder if Quan Chi is actually going to be a good guy, because from what we know from the Mortal Kombat lore, that Quan Chi has usually always been like the Deadly Alliance, or the one that's always on the opposite side, you know, the villain, one of the villains of the game. But, you know, kind of to see that, you know, there are the, I guess, Earthrealm heroes or whatnot, they're actually, you know, treating towards Quan Chi, makes me really wonder if he's actually going to be a good guy in this game.
You misread my intentions, Princess.
So we saw right there that, first off, I do want to point out this pushback, because I actually saw this at Evo, how Frost's cameo was actually in use. This one move, I know this is on hit, but even on block, has a ton of pushback to it, and it makes me wonder if that's actually going to, because of how much pushback it has on it on block, and even with it being send you full screen, it sends you full screen of an attack. So it makes me wonder if that is on block going to be a safe attack. If so, then that is actually really insane. It kind of makes me think that, you know, you can do like a normal string, and then you can use this cameo attack to stay safe and reset the distance. Really interesting. I want to know the frame data on it. Obviously, I didn't get to really explore that or test that out at Evo, so I don't really have a clear answer for everyone as far as what is that on block, but super interesting. And then you can also see that this is like a reptile dash. Look how he kind of like run cancels. He kind of goes from full screen to like a dash, almost like Mortal Kombat X. So I wonder if that is like a special attack, or if that can't be just his normal dash. And I don't think that that's a wave dash either. So maybe that's like a special attack or something, but he is able to close in the distance quickly to be able to still continue his pressure, because you can see Katana is actually in the startup frames of getting up at this moment. And then you can kind of see that's like a low overhead starter, or maybe a low mid. The thing about NetherRealm's, I would say, frame data or their move list is things look like lows or look like overheads, and then they typically end up just being mids. I want to assume that that is a low and that is an overhead. And then you can also see that he transforms. You see his human form and you see the lizard form. Once again, they're implementing the best of both worlds of this character to give him his projectile. And I think that's a classic. Hard knockdown.
I am Ashrah, demon of the Netherrealm.
I love this. So there have been so many talks. First off, I do want to say, because a lot of people have been confused on, has Ashrah like always been a demon? A lot of people don't really know Ashrah, and if you're watching this video and you're not familiar with the 3D era, yes, Ashrah was always a demon for the NetherRealm. This is a completely new, really newly designed rework of her character. She didn't look like this in Armageddon, Deception. She looks nothing like this. A lot of people also say that she looks really like Devora, and you can kind of see kind of like from the facial features. If you actually take away her hair, which someone actually did that on Twitter, it really does look similar to Devora, so I can kind of see why people were confused on at first glance. Maybe they didn't hear that she said, I'm Ashrah, but a lot of people were like, oh my god, that's Devora, and it's not necessarily the case, but it does really look like Devora, so you can't really be too upset that people are like saying that it is. Obviously, if a human form of Devora was to look anyway, it might look like this. But this is Ashrah. She is the demon of Netherrealm. She has a really interesting background and lore to Mortal Kombat, which is why it is one of my most anticipated characters. First off, for those who don't know, because I've been asked this question numerous times, with the game coming out, who is going to be a character I actually want to play the most? It's actually the front runners are going to be Sub-Zero, obviously, and Ashrah. Ashrah, I love her. I love her lore. I love her design. She's so cool in my opinion, and the fact that they reworked her to make her look even cooler, I cannot be even more ecstatic.
Demon of the Netherrealm. I appear nearly human because I've purged most evil from my soul. My sister demons were furious at my change of heart.
So one thing about Ashrah that I've really noticed, and this is like kind of like my second or third time watching this trailer, is she looks like she has a lot of long-range attacks. So she looks like she could be really focused on space and neutral control heavy. And I think that's a perfect character for me, judging by how the frame data is, because these attacks may look slow, but they could also be reworked with the final game coming out. But the frame data is what matters the most to me, is how are these attacks on block? What is the hit advantage on them? Like, all this really, like, has an aspect or determination for how the character is going to be good or bad. Because that is what really breaks down a character truly, is whenever you're, like, comparing their tools or their overall game plan aspect, comparing it to the whole cast, right? And obviously, there's going to be too many different possibilities with, you know, you have your main roster character, and then you have your cameo, right? So it's all about finding the perfect suit or the perfect duo for what goes well with what. So we see right here we have Ashrah and we have Cyrax. So you can kind of see really he has kind of like his like helicopter attack, which used to be a Mortal Kombat 3 fatality. And I think that's really interesting because they actually made that an attack. So it kind of looks like they might be able to go together. Then again, this is just a trailer, so who knows? We don't really get to see, you know, the frame data or you know the numbers behind all of this, right? So I'm really curious to see. Once again, Ashrah is going to be one of my more anticipated characters. So I'm going to do whatever I can to first off figure out if she's going to be good enough to go against the whole roster, but also figure out which cameo is going to suit her the best. And then you have the classic Cyrax net attack. I saw that, so I see the throw animation, and noticing how fast she is on her throw, it makes me wonder where if she's going to actually have like fast attacks or fast movement, which I can totally see, especially from that one throw animation with how fast, like, and I understand, it's just a throw, Gamma, it's just a throw, I understand, but it's really faster than a lot of characters' throws, I will say. So maybe she has some sort of like arsenal speed to her gameplay. I'm really excited, and I can't wait to also make a breakdown video because I'm going to be going over what basically how to play Ashrah in the future and what cameo I think is going to suit her best.
Ashrah and Syzos, come. The monks must prepare you for war.
You will accept chaos.
So I love, first off, Havik has been such a asked character to come back for over a decade now, and it finally happened. He looks so cool. His redesign is absolutely beautiful. I can already see a lot of players wanting to play Havik just because of how long it has been for his anticipated return. And not only that, but he looks sick. He actually has his broken limbs to make his attacks. He throws, which we'll see in a second, he throws his head to be a projectile. Like, it's awesome. But that is not the only character that is awesome from design.
By force.
Killing one realm to free another.
So we can see that this is the living force, and you can once again tell that first off, this just pause frame looks absolutely beautiful because you can see the living force, and then you can see the two characters. You can kind of see really just the beauty of how this game is gonna look. But another thing also is that we've seen night and day of the living force, so this totally looks like the night aspect. We've seen already the day form of the living force, but it makes me believe also that all these stages are going to have kind of like the two sides of every stage. There's going to be like a night form, there's going to be a day form, there's going to be like a snow stage, and then there's also going to be like a really snow stage, which I've seen that from a lot of these other stages. I love just the overall work that NetherRealm has been putting into this game. It definitely shows, and it definitely looks beautiful.
One I won't let you fulfill.
So there's the projectile, and that is a launcher too, really interesting. So first off, I must say, because everyone has been talking about this on Twitter, if you have not seen, they really reworked Serena's design. She looks like a completely new character. So now it brings up our speculation of, is she going to be main roster in the future? Which I don't think she's going to be base roster because obviously she's a cameo. And we already know the Combat Pack 1 details as far as the characters and the cameo. But she has a strong speculation to be a Combat Pack 2 character. They really reworked her whole design. She looks absolutely beautiful. They really have like her natural, human design, and then they have the demon design of Serena. It makes me wonder that she is going to be main roster come this game over time. Oh, and this fatal blow is just gruesome. Look at this. You see the broken bones of like his limbs and whatnot absolutely beating the hell out of you and actually being used in his fatal blow. It is so beautiful. It is just absolutely astounding work from NetherRealm. And once again, I'm not just saying that just because I'm a Mortal Kombat player. I'm just super ecstatic for this game because a lot of these characters that we haven't seen in over a decade return. Their designs look beautiful. Their overall move list looks great. I can't wait. We're gonna really be breaking down and going further into detail soon.
They're out.
Oh, so this is a perfect pause frame, right? So we can kind of see there's Ashrah's hat. Kind of from the Armageddon Deception. People were wondering if that's going to be back. It does look like it's back. Maybe just a skin, but it's here. You can kind of already see that this is a kind of like the costume layout. Kung Lao, I believe that's Kenshi, that's Johnny Cage, Reptile. But who's this character at the bottom? And you can kind of see from the skin and the actual tattoo design that this really looks like Quan Chi. And the facial features, you can kind of vary. It's really hard to see because of the whole head attire that he's got going on. But with the tattoos and the color of the skin, it makes us believe that this is Quan Chi right here. And once again, we talked about this early on about how the characters were carting off Quan Chi. Really makes us wonder, he's really hanging around all the heroes or the bad guys, the heroes of Earthrealm for this story mode, typically known to be a bad guy. So once again, this is a completely different time verse. A lot of characters that we normally see, like their background or lore, is going to be completely different. So once again, we probably going to have a different whole layout or perspective of Quan Chi for the future.
Up for you too, Size-Off.
To catch me, they must see me.
And there's a beautiful, more of like a clear representation of right here that you can kind of see a little bit of his face. You can kind of see it, but not too much. That does really indeed look like Quan Chi.
Damn.
Looks like his sweep. Looks like a little slide attack. He still has the slide, of course. Overhead launcher, I'm going to say, I believe that's an overhead launcher. We could be wrong. It's really fast, though, to come. So he has a low startup, and you might want to believe that this special attack is probably an overhead launcher. And then he has his usual spit that he had for MKX. I don't really know 100% if he had that for Mortal Kombat 9. I'm sure someone will correct me in the comment section down below. But he has his base move or base special attack spit move back. So once again, the overall, the acid ball, the reptile slide, the spit attack, looks like everything is really starting to come back and be once again implemented into Reptile's gameplay. Striker looks so cool. Oh, so real fast before we get into it, I want everyone's prediction really fast. Do you guys think this fatal blow is an overhead or is it a mid? It really kind of like jumps where the tail attack looks like it's coming from overhead. So I even asked that question to a lot of players. I started to get people's prediction. Do you guys think that Reptile's fatal blow is an overhead or a mid? Leave your comment down below on your prediction, and I'm curious to see. My initial read is that this is an overhead. If so, then you better, especially with him looking to have a low startup. It looks like it is going to be a low into overhead fatal blow, so it is definitely going to be testing our reactions. The broken arm and whatnot, the use of his attack is so cool. Looks like Havik also has a low startup as well. Okay, so one thing about Ashrah too is it looks like she has two different forms, right? She kind of has her light form and she has her dark form. You can kind of see because of the purple attacks, and in the beginning we saw like the yellow or white attacks. So I think that's interesting because people also started talking about this as far as her having two different forms. Maybe that could be similar to like how Johnny Cage has his spotlight to where you charge it up. Maybe there's like some sort of like switch that you can use. I wonder if that's going to be able to like impact her overall move list. Like maybe she have like different move list attacks, whether she's in two different forms. I'm really curious to get to work and understand that more, but you can kind of see the difference from her overall attacks, and then you can see the beautiful fatality. This is so sick.
Take your chaos elsewhere.
Oh, and this fatality is just absolutely gruesome. God, you can see the arm break. Oh! Overall, I think that this is probably the like hypest trailer that they've had, and I know we were only saying that because we've only had a few trailers, but this is the trailer that had so much talk behind it. Havik is finally back. Reptile is finally back. Ashrah is back. After all these years, we get to see such a beautiful trailer done by NetherRealm. It was an absolutely astounding work, and I overall loved breaking down and being able to talk about all of this. But that is going to do it for this YouTube video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you all so much for watching and supporting the channel. We're trying to reach 2K before Mortal Kombat 1 comes out by next month, and we are right around the corner. I believe we are around 1875. So once again, thank you all so much for all the love and support. And that is going to do it for me. I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next YouTube video. Take care.